Am I the a-hole stories? Today from Key Syrup 2628 who posted, Am I the a-hole for kicking my stepson out of the house for smoking weed?
I'm in Canada. It is perfectly legal. My stepson, Sean, is 18 and he is in university. He lives with his dad and I so he can go to school in our city. His mom lives on an acreage about 40 kilometers north of town, so that would be quite the commute. I didn't really want him in my house, but my husband insisted and promised me that Sean would behave. He would clean up after himself and he would not cause me any problems. He isn't a bad kid. He does his chores and keeps to himself mostly. He had some trouble with staying up late and being disruptive when he got here last summer, but we got that sorted out. My husband and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Sean is friendly with her and has babysat her a few times. The problem is he smokes so much weed. I'm honestly surprised he isn't failing out of school. I personally don't care, except we agreed he would smoke outside or in the garage, and he's been smoking up in his room. 3 problems. My daughter doesn't need to get a contact high. It stinks. He has the window open, so we are paying to heat up the house constantly. Duck that noise. I spoke with my husband and told him that Sean wasn't following the rules we had agreed to. He had one more chance, then he had to find somewhere else to live. Sean said he was sorry and he promised he would behave. He even showed me that he bought edibles so he wouldn't get his sister high, stink up the house, or need to open his window. It was fine for 2 weeks and then he did it again. So I kicked him out. I packed up his crap and took it all to his mom's place, and I had the lock codes changed. When he got home from school, he lost his crap. He said that I was being a controlling witch and that I didn't have any right to tell him what to do in his father's house. I laughed in his face. I told him that the only house his father ever bought is the one his mother lives in. His dad is my husband, but they are both living in my house. I guess he didn't know that and he started apologizing. I called him an Uber to take him to his mother. He didn't go and he called my husband instead. My husband made arrangements with his brother for Sean to move there. His mom drove all his belongings back into town and now he isn't my problem. Unfortunately for Sean, his uncle is completely against cannabis, so he can't have any there, and he is currently sleeping on a hide-a bed. His dad, uncle, and himself are going to build him a room in the unfinished basement this weekend. My husband is on my side since Sean broke our agreement. His mother is salty about having to come into town, and Sean is begging me to let him come back.
Not the a-hole, but it seems like there might have been some underlying motivations behind kicking Sean out. You had previously warned him about not smoking in his room and he failed to adhere to the rules. It's good to hear that your husband is supportive of your decision and that Sean has had to find alternative living arrangements. However, it's important to put ourselves in Sean's shoes and understand his perspective as well. Moving to a new place can be challenging, especially if it's away from friends and familiar surroundings. And being told he can't live in a house he thought was his father's can be confusing and hurtful. Maybe try having a conversation with Sean to understand his perspective and give him the opportunity to take responsibility for his actions and make amends. Clarifying the ownership of the house and setting clear expectations for future behavior could also help. In the end, the decision is yours and your husband's to make, but approaching the situation with empathy and an open mind is crucial. Remember, he's 18 and still developing, so cut him some slack. Good luck, OP. Catch you on the next one.